and Herschel Walker. You may have noticed how the USFL has attracted top quality players, like Heisman Trophy winners Doug Flutie and Herschel Walker. Boy, can they play. But they can do more than play in the USFL. Like we can do this. And this. Check us out. The USFL, where football is
talking about politics coming from a view of the streets, you know what I'm saying, dog? We're not coming from professional view. We're not lawyers. None of that shit that's on TV, you know what I'm saying? We come straight from the hood. The hood view, you know? Representation of black people, period, on the bench. Because we don't know who Clarence Thomas is representing. He's sitting on a Supreme Court, sitting on a bench, smelling like cocoa butter.
Every time I hear that joint make me laugh. Let me see. Is you muted? Unmute yourself. Now we're at the hood. Now today we're going to do it. Everything good?
Everything good.
What's up? I don't know if you've been paying attention to your boy, Herschel Walker.
No, I don't pay no attention to him. He's a damn maniac.
Well, he won
that dude, cold-blooded jackass.
He won
he won the primary.
Yeah. So he going up against the Democrat.
Warnock, ain't it? Yeah, he going up against Warnock.
Now Warnock. Now, for one thing about me, man. Only thing I don't like about like when a Democrat go against Republican is they just be too timid and too soft, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't get like a Republican will do whatever. They call you whatever. They go.
Oh yeah.
Your girlfriend.
They do whatever. And don't think they wrong.
Yeah, it's whatever with them. But a Democrat, it's like morals. They stop and don't do this and don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Herschel Walker, boy. If you can't be Herschel Walker, you tripping.
Something wrong. that dude, he gone. He out there.
They was beating his wife or some shit or threatening to blow her head.
Yeah, he put a gun to her head. So he put a gun to the bride's head and said he's gonna blow her brains out.
Hey. I don't even know nobody even know about that.
That shit been all over the news. That shit been out there, but I mean, they just don't care. Well, some people just don't care. Like that.
Did you shoot his ass too?
Yeah, you got something going on in the background. Bruh. Like when it first ran, when I think me and Jay was talking about, when he first started running and shit, it's like when we said people probably get blinded by the fact, like if people in Georgia probably don't follow politics, they probably just see him and be like, oh, that's Herschel Walker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And hope for him. That's like go to what I was telling JD yesterday, where Republicans, they run the worst candidates, but they the first, their names be so recognizable that it beats. They put them on the map with a even Democrat that been doing this their whole life. You feel what I'm saying?
See, Herschel Walker, he was first trying to run off his name recognition, but then the dude, you know, it's like every speech, every time he opened his mouth, he show how stupid he is.
That's crazy. But when you see, all right, so when he first started running, when he say he's with, I think Trump came out there with him. And I think Trump came out in his first campaign, I think. And people probably was thinking, how the fuck you know Trump? You know what I'm saying? Well, he was like, man, I've been friends with Trump for 37 years.
You know Trump because he just,
Go back
to USFL.
Exactly.
I think he used to, Trump used to own New Jersey Generals.
Exactly.
And I think that's who he played for.
Exactly. It was funny because Trump was one of the owners who was trying to lure some of the big name players for NFL.
Yeah. That's how they got Flutie. They had Flutie, they had Steve Young for a minute, heard Walker. They had a couple more.
Yeah, Walker was the one that made put the name on
He
the
was
map.
he was the biggest name.
Yeah. It's funny, we had Doug Flutie on our team, little motherfucker.
Yeah.
He made plays though. He made some plays. I give him that. But it's crazy that first of all, let's get into our core debate all the time is why people vote for Republicans or Democrats, right? So you got my man Herschel Walker, right? Everybody know him from football all the time and shit. He runs in Georgia where he already famous, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he runs no credentials, don't run for office for nothing before ever. The normal Republican thing, you know what I'm saying? But when people look at it, break it down, when you start voting for people, you can't vote for the name, bro, because you'll be allowing stuff like bans on abortion. You know what I'm saying? You allow stuff,
But that's how
when you
that's
don't
how Trump got in there.
Exactly.
That's how we end up having Trump, because people voted for the name. It wasn't on substance. See, they putting a rack of candidates out there that ain't got no substance. It ain't nothing to them. It's just, name recognition and they might agree with a position they like gun control or abortion or something. And that's all they running it on. They'll run on they putting people out there to run on the hot topics, but people not looking below the surface. And if they look below the surface, they'll find out that it ain't nothing there. But they don't look below the surface.
They always run these candidates that just have credentials and have, like, for example, they run people that don't really pay attention to politics, like Bush. He didn't even want to be a politician. He didn't want to be president. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They talked him into it. They had to talk him into the shit. You see what I'm saying? You got people, he didn't even want to do politics. You know what I'm saying?
No more. But see, he had been, Bush had been governor.
Yeah.
So he at least, he knew how to run the government. That much.
But on the other side was Kerry. His whole life was in the military, Congress. That's a president right there. You know what I'm saying? Not a motherfucker that say, okay, I'm gonna run for governor of my state so I can be president one day. So because they keep asking, you know what I'm saying? It's a nigga that was prepared to be the president of the United States, literally, almost since birth. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that Democrats run. People that should be presidents. Al Gore. If Al Gore was president, he would have head of everybody on the environment. He was ahead of the game on environment and shit. So you had like Gore in the joint. Who he go against? Get Bush. Bush ain't care about shit. See, you always have a comparison of somebody just there, just cause power or something. You know what I'm saying? And the other person is dead, been doing this their whole life and shit. It always comes down to those two people and shit. You muted, Tony.
See, the thing about that is Republicans rally their base better than Democrats. Republicans got some built-in issues that they know that's always going to rally their base. Abortion, overturning Roe v. Wade is always going to rally their base. And doing anything about guns is always going to rally their base. And religious freedoms is always going to rally their base. But see, the thing about what get the Democrats is it's always something different. It's like each and every election is what's going to rally the base, what's going to rally the base. You already know what the Republicans going to rally their base around. It's the same thing, but the Democrats don't have that. It don't seem that they had that same set of issues that bring people to the polls for every election, which the Republicans do, because you know what the Republicans are going to vote on. They're going to vote on abortion rights. They're going to vote on gun rights. They got that in the bag right there. What do the Democrats have in the bag?
They built in too. Democrats go off shit that's happening, like the environment. It's happening, so they want to react to that. Like if a black person gets shot in the street, they're reacting to that. You know what I'm saying? So their shit is not baked in. It got to be something that's happening on the fly. That's happening. You know what I'm saying? And it goes into a policy that they wanted to pass before. You feel me? Like gun control.
The Democrats don't seem like they had no core issues, and the Republicans kind of like do. You know what the Republicans, each and every election, you know what they're going to put on the ballot. You know what they're going to put out there. But what's every 4 years, before you go to the convention, okay, it's always a fight at what's going to be on what the Democrats going to bring to, what's the platform? What's going to be the platform on the convention floor? What are we going to talk about this year? What are they going to try to rally the base around? With Republicans, you already know what those issues are, and it's the same every year. So they know that they base is coming out to vote for certain things, and there's certain things that get their people wild up. And the Democrats, they gotta put out there what the issues are and what they fighting for.
That's what that's the difference right there, because the stuff they fight for are stuff that, like, for example, Obama put his whole presidency up in the air for healthcare, and nobody cared. Now you see what I'm saying? But that's most important to almost everybody's life. You feel me now? Where they'll be like, man, he ain't do shit, but the whole time they using his healthcare. You feel me?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Those two things don't even go together. But they don't see it as something that was done. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain that shit. But if it's so much done that they use it and work it, and if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't have certain things. They don't know that, though. You feel me? But he uses whole presidency for that shit.
And see, they put it out there like, okay, this is what we're about. This is what we're fighting for. And the Democrats, it changes every 4 years, every 2 years, or every whatever. Okay, now y'all fighting for this, but then they counter argument is always, well, where was you when? Where was you when this was going on? When you it's an issue now. Okay, it's an issue now because it's an issue now, basically.
No. See, most things that come up for Democrats happen on the fly because, for like I said, for all right, the school shoot, right? That comes up during the presidency, but it's not something that's locked into the platform. You feel me? So it comes up during the year.
When it should be.
All right, so when
it's not something that's locked in, but it should be. But it should be locked in. See, the problem is the issue.
You can't run on. I want gun control. Nobody gonna run on that. Mm-hmm. So you ain't gonna have a Democrat running on gun control.
But you need to. You see, that's not an issue. That's not an issue that gun control is not an issue that a Republican candidate is going to win on. It's never going to happen. And Republicans can tell you.
They do the Second Amendment. That covers all that for them. So it's harder for a Democrat to do that.
But if you fighting, if you a Democrat and you out there and you fighting for gun control, you can't only fight for gun control when it's a mass shooting. You got to bring this up. You got to keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up, even when it ain't no shootings. You got to keep bringing it up.
That's what I was about to say. their issues come up on the fly, like the shoot. They already put
Right.
bills up for that in the past. So it's not nothing they
Right.
tried to address before. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when it comes up, all it is you saying, all right, y'all ain't do nothing, but they put things up for that before. You feel me?
Right. And see,
People don't recognize
and then the Republicans always come back and see, it's
they
like,
block
okay,
this shit.
just like Trump said the other day. Okay, now and they make it seem like this. Okay, now that it's a mass shooting and everybody in the uproar, now they want to come forth and try to take your guns away or whatever, and want to come with gun control or gun safety issues. Nah, you got to do that when it ain't no shootings. You got to, okay, if you about gun safety now, you got to keep pressing the issue, and if that's what the people that's voting for you want, okay, don't give it up. Press the issue. Keep on bringing it up.
No, what I'm saying is the gun issue alone. A Republican, their whole party love the gun. So all you gotta do is say, I'm a Second Amendment. So you covered. You ain't got to elaborate too much.
Right.
For a Democrat to run around the country saying gun control, you're gonna lose so many states that you're gonna be blown out in the presidency, bro. That's why they can't talk about it all day. So over the last 10 years, they put up 6 bills for gun control that was all blocked by Republicans. But their problem is, like I said, they don't promote like Republicans promote the bullshit they do.
But if you can't keep bypassing the issue. It can't only be an issue when 10 people get shot. It can't be an issue when 19 people get shot. It got to keep being an issue. And if that's what you're running on and that's what you believe in, then you got to get out there and campaign and make the people believe it. And that's what the Republicans do. They get out and campaign that, okay, whether it's true or not, they want to take your guns. That's the whole thing. They want the Democrats want to take your guns. But nobody on the Democratic side is coming out and saying, hold up. This ain't true. We don't want to take your guns. What we don't want guns out there in the hands of people who shouldn't have guns. We don't think that people need to own certain types of guns. But we're not saying that we want to take your guns and we don't want you to protect yourself. They're not getting out there and saying that. And that's where that's where Republicans constantly win on that issue, because they'll press that issue, and then you got the NRA coming right behind them saying the same thing. Oh, they trying to take your guns. They trying to keep you from protecting yourself, and they want the criminals to win and all this. Nah, you gotta come on counteract that, and ain't nobody doing that. The only one that's really Beto O'Rourke, he already said he gonna take your guns.
All right, so
but that's not a winning argument.
Yeah. Well, the first major bill, everybody remember when the Brady handgun violence when Brady got shot.
Yep.
They had that Bill President had that joint. That was 1993 bill. 94, the assault rifle bill was passed. And after that, everything was blocked. 2003 blocked, 2005 blocked, 2008, 10, all blocked by Republicans.
Yeah.
So it comes down to me, you like when I be saying Democrats when these black people mislead black people, I don't like them. It's because overall, the party itself is not like. That's why I want a Republican that's a Democrat on this podcast so we can talk to him, right? Or Republican in general. But I'd rather black Republican because it's our culture. Is the debate I want to have. You know what I'm saying? because in the end, the party itself is not aligned with black people and how they live on a daily basis. For example, healthcare was a disaster before Obama passed that bill. We talking about people was dying, couldn't afford shit. You get a disease, you couldn't afford that, go bankrupt. All that shit was happening before he passed that bill. You know what I'm saying?
But see,
people don't remember none of that. He put his whole up for that.
Because you're not getting out and campaigning where you should be campaigning. If it's issues about healthcare and wages and stuff like that help the poor people, then you need to get out there where the poor people at. You need to get out there where poor blacks at. It's just as many poor whites. All white people don't have money.
True.
So you got to get out there, and you got to get out there where the poor whites at.
That's true. But the key point of that, they can be poor like you, but when it comes down to, they want guns. They want abortions. You get it?
Okay, guns and abortion. You can't get guns and abortion.
Those two things in the Republican Party are locked. So you can be a poor white person with a poor black man. Your issues don't align with mine because the Republican Party first keep guns in my streets. That's black men are killing each other. So the guns are flowing through my streets and allowed to. You can't tell me Republicans put up a bill to stop the guns. They never done that before. Ever.
But see,
they stopped
you got
so many of them.
This is where the Republicans pull the wool over poor, especially poor white people's eyes. They'll get out here and they'll get out here and campaign and say that, well, if you pass this bill or if you vote for us, we'll do this and we'll do this to help the poor people. And they're not talking to poor black people. That's what people need to understand. They're not talking to the poor people of color, the blacks and Hispanics, and so forth and so on. They're talking to poor whites. Say, if you vote for us, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll do this and this, that, and the third. But you always hear that same complaint after Republicans get into office every year. And yeah, they promised us a lot, but they didn't deliver shit.
They do that, yeah. It's like let's say
they promised a tax cut across the board that's going to help all people. But really they were talking to the middle class, the lower class whites. Okay. But when they got into office and it was a surplus, what did they do? They gave a tax cut, the tax breaks, but they gave the tax breaks to the rich white people. They didn't get the poor white people shit. And this is where the Democrats is fucking up. You need to go to them people and show them what we doing is not only going to help the poor blacks, the poor Hispanics, it's going to help the poor white people, it's going to help you too. This is what the healthcare bill is going to do. This is what welfare overhaul is going to do. This is what we are trying to do. You have been promised this, that, and the third by these Republicans every year, every 4 years. They promise they're going to do this and do this. And what's the only thing they do? They get tax break to the top 1%. You still got 99% of the people out here they ain't did shit for.
Again, you're making a good point because let's take it out of context. I mean, out of the parties for a minute. If you go back from Clinton, Bush, the whole nine, when they first come in, what's the first things they do is what they matters. You know what I'm saying? Every time a Republican come into office, the first thing they do is tax cut. It's the first thing, no matter what. They tax cut. Tax cuts, they give rich people money back. So to me,
that was the same thing. That was the same thing Bush did. When Bush got into office, Clinton left him a surplus. when the second Bush got in office. Clinton left him a surplus.
The
For the
first Bush,
first time. The first Bush and Reagan. You got to that goes back all the way back to Ronald Reagan because the father didn't do nothing but continue what Reagan did
and blew the whole
so
thing.
Between him and him and Reagan did, Clinton fixed it to the point that he left a surplus. That's the government, a surplus of money. But then when the son came in, W came in, he took the surplus and gave tax breaks to the rich and fucked everything back up again.
Real simple. Real simple.
And see, that's where you already knew that the poor blacks wasn't getting shit. The poor Hispanics wasn't getting shit. The poor Asians or whatever that's in this country, you know, they wasn't doing nothing because the tax breaks was for who? 1%, the top 1% that didn't need, and they didn't even ask for a tax break. What people don't realize, they didn't need or ask for the tax cuts, but Bush went and did it anyway, which was a political move to try to show up his base. Okay. But the damn, what do the poor whites and other poor people say? That was promised, or it was given all of these promises, but okay, it wasn't delivered for them, it was delivered for the rich. They came back out and vote for them anyway because they hit them with the okie doke, like you said. They went to, okay, they want to take your guns. They want to take your they want to don't want to overturn Roe v. Wade. They want to keep it the law of the land. They wanted this, and that's where you had
exactly
Christian right, Christian right, who don't believe the evangelicals, who they know how to play to their beliefs and what they believe in, and play off of what they believe in, and that gets them a lot of votes, even though voting for them is not in their best interest at all times.
Best interest, exactly. That's what I've been trying to say. It's like, and that's definitely not in our best interest. On other facts,
no.
So, I'm not. You made a good point. It's not even just us. Anybody that's poor, they not in a. That's not for you. Like, to get people to vote for stuff. That's like, let's say it's Christmas. You're a kid, right? Your mother and father. You don't live with your mother and father. They split up, right? You go to one joint. You go to your father's house and he say, all right, I'm going to give you this for Christmas, right? You know what I'm saying? You go to your mother's house, she say, I'm going to give you this for Christmas, right? Pops get the joint and give it to mom. Mom's throw the joint in trash before you even get to see the shit. You get in the house, you only see her joint, and she's saying, oh, your pops ain't give you nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how Republicans and Democrats work. It's like when Democrats do shit, they try to do something, it's get blocked. Then when it's over, motherfucker Republican be like, yeah, I ain't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, yeah, I ain't do shit. Like, hold on. They blocked them joints. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, about that, yeah.
But see, a lot of this start with the DNC. You got to get somebody that's running the DNC that's going to get out. It's going to go out at the grassroots, because that's where you got to reach these people. Some of these people that the Republicans are lying to every 2 to 4 years are people who used to be Democrats. You got to get them people back. You got to get them people back in the poor whites in Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas.
Exactly. See, that's the
Dakotas.
People don't understand.
You got to get these people back, and you got to get them back at the grassroots level. Okay, what Obama did, everybody wanted to now run an Obama campaign. Obama knew how to win for him. He knew that if he won the cities and and the places where the minority vote was, which is the cities and the suburbs of the cities, which he won, the major cities. It worked for him. It worked for him twice. But you see, when Hillary tried to run the same type of campaign and get the same people Obama got, it didn't work for her. That's another reason we ended up getting Trump. When she should have ran a campaign when she could have targeted the people and got the people, got a lot of the people that Obama did, what she did, but she didn't get all of them. But what happened was, in trying to get the Obama voters, she neglected the people that voted for her husband. Exactly. And when she should have been out there, exactly, because basically Bill and Hillary are country people. They're not city people.
I'm just about to get to that. Obama,
they're basically country people.
Bill Clinton was two different joints, because Clinton is what we missed in 08. I mean, the last joint when Trump won, was those people right there Bill Clinton had in his pocket. Like those people that working class white people, poor like us.
Right.
They was voting for him. You know what I'm saying? That was the difference.
And what she did was she neglected them people, thinking she could run an Obama type campaign.
Yeah, well, you get all Hispanics.
No.
And minorities. Yeah.
You can't run an Obama type campaign because you're not Obama. For one, Obama knew he was from the city. He was from Chicago, so he knew how to relate to them people and draw them people out in the Chicago's, Los Angeles's, in the major cities, in the suburbs of the major cities around the country. We all, when Clinton ran, we all looked at Clinton. What was his nickname? Bubba. They called him Bubba. He was a country boy. He was a hillbilly. Mm-hmm. And he knew how to relate to them people and get them people out.
You remember when he first came? He was running around the McDonald's and shit when he came to DC.
Yep.
Remember that shit?
He was running around. He was on Arsenio, playing a saxophone, playing Elvis music and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's where she needed to go.
Exactly.
And see, and Biden ran, and that's why one thing Biden always said from the moment he declared, he said, "I'm gonna beat him like a drum," because he knew where his voters was, and he didn't neglect none of his voters.
That Clinton had, yeah,
right.
Now, what? Everybody don't know Herschel Walker. Another thing about Herschel Walker, he's running for Senate and everything, but he has this disorder where he got multiple personalities, bro. And he was diagnosed with this, I think, almost 20 years ago.
That nigga's crazy.
He wrote a book too about the shit.
Being a dickhead is one of them.
Say it again.
I said being a dickhead is one of them.
He definitely wrote a book about that shit, and that's crazy, huh? For him to have multiple personalities, bro, it's crazy as fuck. I'll play some of this shit.
It goes back maybe when childhood you suffered from dissociative identity disorder, or DID. I'm going to say DID from now on.
That's short. And, I think I suffered with it for a long time. I think it goes back maybe when childhood. I think because of my weight problem and being bullied, being picked on.
It's hard to believe that somebody who is, so big would have been picked on.
Well,
when you were a kid, you were just a fat kid.
I was a fat kid, a little bit overweight, used to have a stuttering problem. And I didn't love myself. I didn't love who I was. I didn't love what I did. And every kid wanted to be better.
When was it diagnosed?
It was diagnosed like 2001.
So recently?
Yes, recently. I really didn't know what was going on. And to be honest with you, Probably if my life had stayed in football and stayed as busy as I was doing and had that doing the things that I was doing, I probably would have never noticed it. I think getting out of football and then having to change alter my life, so I'm going to a whole nother field. I think that's when I started to know that things were different, that things just seems a little bit different.
Well, since the book came out, the press has talked to some of your former teammates. They said they didn't suspect it, but your ex-wife, your college sweetheart,
Yes.
she says now, thinking about it, she probably should have suspected something like this because she was so close to you. She would have seen things others might not.
Well, that's exactly right, and and I still praise her today for helping me because even though we're not married now, and that I think DID may have had a lot to do with the divorce. I think at the same time she stayed with me and she fought with me and she went through it with me, which really saved my life and really helped me out a lot.
Is DID the same illness that was once known as multiple personality disorder, the sort of thing that we saw in Sybil and Three Faces of Eve?
And that's exactly right. And that's one reason I wrote the book is to try to get rid of that stereotype. I think people have stereotyped it so much that they've really demonized DID. And what I'm trying to say is, guys, I think a lot of people have DID.
But those people didn't know they were the other person.
Right.
When you seem to have always been Herschel, you just had different versions of yourself.
That's exactly right. Different fragments, as you may say, of myself.
Alters, you call them.
I call them alters, and I think there's a lot of people have it, and like I say, I think they hide. And they hide because a lot of people think it's something strange, where I say it's not strange. I think a lot of people just, they're coping with it a little bit better.
Well, the diagnosis of DID is still controversial.
Yes, yes.
Were your parents and siblings aware of what was happening to you when you were going through that when you were a kid?
Not at all. I left home when I was about 16 to head off to college. So, my mother would always say I was always a quiet and sort of shy guy. And that's where I was. And to be honest with you, I was really afraid of crowds. I hated crowds. I never really liked to be around a lot of people.
Maybe that's why you were a successful running back.
Well, that's it.
Stay away
from everybody. And I think that was one of the biggest keys, just to feel loneliness. And that's why that I wrote the book, just try to touch someone else.
Well, you started having memory lapses. When did they start?
Well, I've always had memory lapses, but I really didn't understand because, my ex-wife sent it. She said that there was things that I did. And, and I used to say, I never did that. And she's, you did this here. And when she started telling me that, and in the opening scene of the book, I talk about something. And at that time, being fortunate to have two, mother and father that put a good foundation down for me, I knew I had a problem. I knew there was something going wrong. I didn't know the reason why, what to do. But I knew that was something that I needed to get help.
Now, the joint he's saying he got is something I never heard of, for real. DID, where it's multiple personalities, where they got different names, different characteristics, and different histories. Shit. So he got 2-3 different people in him, yeah?
He got that dissociative disorder.
Exactly.
That Negro's crazy.
So he say he had memory lapses and shit. So that means that's probably when he do the other person. Probably don't remember that shit. That's correct. Yeah.
That's just a convenient excuse.
That right there was 15 years ago when we had that interview. I think he wrote that book about that shit. You muted. Jay? Jay? You muted, yeah? Go ahead.
Yeah. They said the same thing about OJ. He might got what they call CTE, decisions making, questionable. Multiple personality, I know is different, but it still got something to do with your brain, molecules. It might have got scrambled up during USFL.
Do you know?
And then Trump talking to him at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And he got what it called. He got brainwashed.
You think that's cool to have a person in that position that
But
one day
he
will
already-
wake up and be somebody else?
But see, beforehand, 4 years ago, no, not 4 years ago, he said, 2 years ago, he said that he would come, if he, runs up in there and Trump was the loss, he said he'll come in there and he said he would come in the joint, right, and shoot down any decisions that Democrats make, only until Trump get back, and then he'll get a seat back. Let's give it up. But people down in Georgia ain't, they don't realize what they're getting themselves into if they vote him in.
Exactly. And then again, it's a black person now. When black people see this person, they might feel like, okay, I can vote for him. Then
But
he's
see, Warnock, I think Warnock is a black guy too.
Then he used to be a star.
Yeah, Warnock black.
He used to be a
Warnock,
star.
the preacher.
Yeah, he's a preacher.
He didn't want to snuck through the last year, 2 years ago, I think. But either way, Herschel Walker is real famous. You know what I'm saying? So once he get out there, he can take Democrat votes because some people don't look at it as that. They say, "Oh, that's Herschel Walker." You know what I'm saying? And then the other day, he gave everybody free gas in Atlanta. The other day, in a couple of gas stations. See, then he ain't even live in Atlanta until last year when he started trying to run. He ain't even been living. You think he's living in Texas some fucking way? This is the silly shit I'm be talking about, bro. But that personality shit is just, I don't know how you work with that and you in office, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wake up one day and you Shirley Temple. How the fuck you gonna be, you know what I'm saying? You can't wake up one day with a whole nother personality and shit. And then, I don't even know.
That's what he playing. And they gonna put this crazy ass nigga in office.
Well, what makes it so bad, though, is what I'm about to say, is he mislead a black person, but at the same time, why would he be Republican when his son is clearly with the LGBTQ? You see what I'm saying? It's another thing.
Because he's in another tax bracket, and he's in a tax bracket that benefits him.
And his son why. I don't know if you've seen this.
Who? Herschel Walker? Nah. Yeah. I don't pay no attention to him.
His son is first of all, his son. Hold up. Why you keep muting yourself? Jay. Muted. Oh, you talking.
Yeah.
What'd you say? You heard?
Yeah,
you
he's a black. Warnock is a black guy too, but recognition is recognition. Warnock is the new kid on the block as far as getting into politics. His job is to block whatever they got going on when it comes to the Republican stupid shit. Passing laws about guns, stupid shit. Right now, Herschel Walker is probably the higher vocal point of that shit.
Now, his son named Christian Walker, supposed to be a conservative commentator. Clearly, it's misled. You see what I'm saying? So he do a lot of
I'm done with these crazy anarchists trying to start a revolution in our country. I'm done with these sick politicians continuously selling victimhood to blacks. I'm done with these celebrities who act like they have a PhD in political science. I am done. I appreciate that we have something called the American dream in this country. I appreciate that my dad and my stepdad both grew up as a poor black and a poor Jew and made themselves successful and provide for their families today. I appreciate the opportunity that our country gives us. I appreciate that we have a quality of opportunity here. We may not have a quality of result, but I don't want that because the hardworking should be the cream of the crop. Let's come together as Americans and fight this crazy ideology that tells us to hate our country. We live in the best country in the world. Period. The hypocrisy of the mainstream media is disgusting. You can go burn, loot, destroy low-income minority communities, and coronavirus is nowhere to be found. But the minute you go to a rally that the mainstream media politics don't agree with, suddenly coronavirus numbers are on the rise. We see the lies. We see right through your hypocrisy. We demand you start reporting facts instead of your emotionally driven, false narrative. We're done with it. Hi, can I do a venti iced non-fat white mocha extra skinny? Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're black. Can I please announce my white privilege? Can I get you an extra drink? Or I'm so sorry, I'm white. I'm so sorry. Ma'am, I'm a free-thinking black American. I promise you I'm not oppressed. Do not denounce your...
Like I said, why would he be a Republican? Either one of them two. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is that for? You vote for a party that's going to vote against your interests. What is that about?
Because his interest is Herschel Walker's interest is money. He's in a Republican tax bracket, so it's in his son. He probably just raised his son to be that way. You know what I'm saying? He indoctrinated the little punk to be that way. Yeah. You know. But you got to understand, Herschel Walker, he made a lot of money during his career, and you know he'll listen to the Republicans kick that bullshit with him, you know, because he's in that tax bracket where you keep more of your money in this, that, and the third, and this, and then he probably wasn't raised around no real black people, so hey. Nah. That's where you get that's where you get the majority of black Republicans come from is black people that got money. And you know they'll get a Republican in their ear to tell you know vote our way, you keep your money.
That's the problem.
And,
exactly.
Right. You know, they vote with their wallet. And you know, then when you know a Democrat will come along and say, well, you know, you rich motherfuckers ain't getting all these tax breaks. And matter of fact, y'all gonna pay y'all fair share because we gonna tax your ass.
Like that, yeah.
Right. So
when you start thinking about it, when they was taxing them, I think they was in the 70s and 60s, 90-80% of their income, you start thinking about it. That's worth it because they don't do nothing but hoard all that shit any fucking way. So what's the use for it?
Yeah. But see, ain't nobody, you know, you can do what you want with your money, but when it comes to, you know, you cheating the system. When you cheating the system and whatever and hoarding money by cheating the system, then you know that ain't exactly correct.
Jeff Bezos hoard money. You know what I'm saying? I think Jay-Z and his wife hoard money. You know what I'm saying? It's like once you get to a billionaire, it's like, what are we doing then? Like, what the fuck? Don't tell me about no issue because you can solve half of the motherfuckers yourself.
Right.
LeBron is a new millionaire.
Only thing right now is that BLM's a radical domestic terrorist organization that hates black people. Okay. Is it how you feel about the whole movement as a whole? Oh yeah. No. I think if we want to fix issues within Black America, we need to look into the culture, stop uplifting people like LeBron James who just focus in on oppression and start looking at
People like Ben Carson who actually care about the community.
Ben Carson?
With LeBron James that he said it or quoted it.
Ben Carson is a
Well, he's always egging the black community on to go cause violence to uplift this movement that does nothing but burn buildings down instead of encourage black Americans to, I don't know, get an education. I do appreciate his university, but his constant victimization of our community is inappropriate, to say the least.
If you were a human who had his platform, what would you do in his shoes?
I would tell people that they are able to do whatever they want. I would also educate people that this country offers black Americans more opportunity than any country in the world.
Bitch, please.
Well, my dad's on the Presidential Council for Fitness and Sports, so we work closely with the Trumps, playing for 4 more years, and
Thanks so much.
this dude need his ass whooped.
He's a god.
Walker's son, though, bro. That's funny as shit.
Well, Herschel Walker's son need his ass whooped.
We're a straight up god.
And he used to be a cheerleader.
Right.
He won
My
championships.
daddy's on the fitness council. Nigga, you's a bitch.
There you go. Oh, something about Trump. Like, nigga.
That nigga's a flaming faggot.
Yes.
Yeah, gump.
Why we be voting for Trump? They ain't see what I'm saying, bro. Like, what is that about? Other than, like you said,
see,
money. It can't be anything else.
He'll be the type. He'll be the type that Trump will parade out there and say that he for the for the LGBT community.
Yeah.
You see my gump?
Like, bring him out, yeah.
You see, I got this gump right here.
LGBTQ.
I got a gump. I got a black gump. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
And then call him out the crowd. Look at my black LGBTQ.
Right. Right.
When we did a black dude like that. Look at my black man.
He said, look at me. He said, look at my African American. Yo, you got papers on this nigga or something?
I see one on Joe. He only had one.
What
like
kind of games you playing?
You know, man, that was funny as shit. Damn, bro.
Yo, pray. Look at my gay.
You know?
He said, I got a gay.
But yeah, this is why I want to do this political show. You know what I'm saying? Besides the other podcasts I have and shit, because I want to get more in depth into politics more. You know what I'm saying? So, especially when people are running for office and stuff, like Herschel Walker running for office, we can break them down like we just did them. You know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff I know people probably ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Or ain't even thought about even figure out. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta educate. You know, you gotta educate and inform the people. That's what you're here for. You know?
Yeah, now
just like you got people that hoard money, you know, you got people that hoard information. You think they want to keep it to themselves. You know, sometimes you gotta enlighten the folks.
Exactly. And like we said, we come from the hood view. You know what I'm saying, Jay?
Yeah. Never shooting.
Oh, it was. That's right. I think it was in Philadelphia?
Yep. Philadelphia.
Yep. Shit, it's getting to the point. It's about a mass shooting a day.
It's a mass shooting every day. It's a new normal.
It's not good.
No, this motherfucker just didn't.
It's not good. I'm tell you that.
Cody Rhodes gonna kill this motherfucker in a minute.
But Biden tweeted out something though about the guns and shit. I don't know if y'all seen that after the mass shooting.
Yeah, he had another.
He said
he had another press conference. You know, he know. I mean, it ain't much. It ain't. Yeah, it ain't. I think he to the point where he trying to shame the Republicans into doing something. Because it's not much he really can do.
You don't think so?
It's not much he can do by executive.
Republicans have no shame.
They have no shame.
They've shown that over and over again.
Right.
That's true.
And until you can, I think until you can
Once
get
this
through
game is
to
over,
or do something about the NRA, nothing's really gonna happen. Because I think it's Republicans out there that want to do something, you know. But as long as the NRA is out there, you ain't gonna get shit done.
But I'm here from when man be leaving messages on our joint. One day I hope you can come in as joint Black Republican. Well, he told me that NRA is not where he take his lead from. It's some other joints now. But he don't get that the NRA is just the most powerful joint out there, whether he like it or not.
Right. They take their lead from the NRA. Wayne LaPierre got power.
Like whatever
and he
joint
got powers on
about,
him.
exactly. Whatever joint he talking about, they under the NRA for sure.
Right. So it ain't a gun rights organization out there. They got the power that the NRA got.
That's true.
You can't put 3, 4, 5 gun rights organizations together. That's gonna come close to the power the NRA got. Because if you could, something could get if you could put a few gun rights organizations together, something could be done if they could amass as much power as the NRA. No other organizations put together can amass as much power as the NRA. So to say, it's on somebody else, that's a bullshit talking point.
But they gotta do something like town hall and get somebody to explain why we can't do. Say they gotta get them at the table in front of CNN or some shit at a round table and say, okay, what about this and why we can't do this?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like get them on the spot some kind of way, yeah. And explain why you can't do that. Why you can't stop this? Why we can't raise the limit?
What is gonna happen? What is gonna happen? It's gonna have to take a couple of these gun rights politicians to lose in a couple of landslides.
That's
for them
the route. That's the route
to get them people attention.
That's the route
they need. They haven't got an attention getter yet. They need something to get their attention. And if a couple of these jackasses that keep coming out and block, it's gonna take for somebody like a Ted Cruz to lose in a landslide for this shit to happen. And it could happen. It could start to happen in Texas if Beto O'Rourke get the momentum and blow the Texas. I keep forgetting the dude's name. Blow that governor out the water, especially all the shit he done to loosen and soften the gun laws in Texas. If Beto O'Rourke can beat the hell out of him and get that governorship, that'll be attention. That'll start to get their attention. And you will see.
Another thing, they got laid out in front of the people that have guns and all these people and explain what it is they want to do and what it is they not doing. So they can see guns being taken is not part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So President Biden tweeted yesterday, in Texas, you can be 18. In Texas, you can be 18 years old and buy an assault weapon, even though you can't buy a pistol until you're 21. If we can't ban assault weapons as we should,
now that don't make no sense.
We must at least.
That don't make no sense.
It does make sense. It makes sense for mass shootings,
right? Because I'd rather have you with a pistol than an AR-15. If I had a choice.
But this is what the Republicans setting it up. The Republicans setting it up like that because they want to defer the situation to the Democrat, to him, and make it seem like that he ain't doing nothing. Because remember when they had the shooting in Texas a few weeks ago? Remember when Biden came down there? Remember they was direct at Biden. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You can't do that if you've got Republicans in there. And people failing to realize that. Yeah. They're not understanding that.
No bullshit. And then, my thing is, how can you blame one party?
But the shit that Republicans be doing be working, though.
But you don't blame the whole party that's voting against the stuff, right? Like a Democrat need another vote, but it's like you letting the whole party that's not voting with it, get away with not voting for it, and then blame the other party that can't get the extra vote. That don't make any sense, bruh. When the extra vote is all these people right here that ain't voting for it, then the people be mad at it.
But then you got some Democrat, maybe this time around, specifically one main man up in West Virginia, being an asshole and deferring shit. Yeah, Manchin.
Not only him, Sanders too. Sanders votes against them joints too. It's a key thing in the gun bills in the Congress that passed, and it takes away the company's right to just have anonymity when somebody get hurt or killed or something. They don't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And that one thing in the bill is the one thing the NRA want to stand in.
But see, what tripped me out about is when the NRA started giving politicians ratings as A ratings on gun control, the D ratings on gun control, and all that shit.
Then they gonna vote all this shit to get their ratings up.
Right.
They get rewarded by ratings too inside these organizations. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, before we get out of here, I don't know if y'all heard about the Senate candidate, the black candidate that wore a noose. Y'all heard about that?
Yeah.
Charles Booker, Kentucky Democrat. Yeah. He put a noose on his neck, around his neck.
To prove a point.
Yeah. When they vote against
you look like Urkel.
Yeah, he do. They vote against the Emmett Till bill, the anti-lynching bill. Rand Paul and all these Republicans voted against it. And what y'all think about you running for, you're a Democrat, what do you think about doing this?
I don't know what to think. Because it's kind of, it depends on what you're running on. And if you're not running on nothing that really got nothing to do with that, or you just trying to inflame shit, and it is kind of inflammatory. But somebody sent you
he running for Kentucky. I don't know, just something about it. Me personally, dog, you can't do that. Like, you can't, black man, you can't put that noose on your fucking neck like that, bro, and think that's some type of shit that's cute. Like, just look at yourself, man. Just look at you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
because when you do that,
they can make all sorts of memes with this.
Man, what?
Yeah. And see, when you do that, you making it all about race. Unless it's a somebody came at you like that, or somebody sent you a noose or something like that, you don't need to. I think this is the era. Come on, man, put your ideas out there, put what you about out there. You don't really gotta.
I think that's just stupid right there, bro.
Yeah, you don't really gotta go there.
I'm not saying that it's stupid. I know he's trying to prove a point, but it's other things you could do to prove a point that slavery still exists.
He could have got
whatever you're trying to say.
He could have got a lookalike doll of himself and put that shit on there or something, man. Just like putting that shit on your neck like that. I'm feeling allergic to even do that to myself. I can't even put that on myself.
Well, I know the white folks saying that they wish that he had, and all black folks had that.
White motherfucker looking at it like, let me tighten that bitch, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, get out and run on your message. Get out and if you feel this way, get out there and say something. Because when you do something like that, it take away from your message, and it's gonna be all about that picture.
But on the flip side, he obviously don't. Here, candidate is running, don't have a whole ton of money. He's not famous, don't have the big name like we were just talking about with Herschel Walker. For him doing this, it does help him out with recognition there. You feel me?
Yeah.
It does do that.
But all recognition ain't good recognition.
Best believe it.
Nah. I mean, black folks will vote for him, but you gotta think how many black folks was in Kentucky.
I know. And how many white people gonna vote for you looking like that though?
Right.
You gotta.
Matter of fact,
You gotta
they
look
probably
at,
vote-
like
they
you said,
probably will vote
you gotta
for
look at where you at. And
Kentucky
if you
is
need-
one of them states.
yeah, and if you need them white votes, a picture like that turns off a rack of white people,
Exactly.
and that may be willing to vote for you.
That thing
and hope that they will tighten that thing up for you.
Yeah, no, they want to swing you over something for now.
Right.
Push that nigga over the cliff. Like, nigga, you got it on there, motherfucker. What's wrong?
You got it on there.
But the message in the whole, I seen the whole ad. They had the rope. They showed the rope from when they had the resurrection from the 6th from this January 6th resurrection.
Yeah.
And he was comparing that to the fact that they could still do this and get away with it.
Because they just motherfucking locked one of them motherfuckers up in the Trump administration for that. He's the first person to get locked up. I think it was in his administration, a high level motherfucker. For the sexual erection joint. He was the first one. I think it was 2 days ago. They got him in for contempt. That right there about to start unfolding too. There's a lot of heads gonna start falling for that.
Oh yeah.
Erection shit. Show.
Yeah, they starting to indict subpoena,
Exactly.
lock motherfuckers up.
All right, we about to get our body into next. Damn, this ain't even Tuesday.
Right.
Hey,
Sunday,
yeah.
2 days.
Tuesday, yeah. But till then, though, Jay, y'all got something to say before we get up out here, though? The bonus coverage on y'all?
Nah. See y'all Tuesday. Peace out.
Definitely see y'all Tuesday, though. We're going to start breaking down another candidate like we just did that food.
Yeah, find another food to break down.
Catch it tomorrow, though, that third perspective, though, for sure, live and all.
Yeah.